Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Then and Now podcast. I'm your co-host, Captain Diesel, and I'm joined with the Big Black Muffin, aka Lelouch V. And we're joined with a special guest today, Mr. Zach. I've never have said your last name before. I've seen it, but I've never said it. And I was like, is it Lerner?
Yep. I'm not too bad in school, so it's a good last name to have.
Zach, welcome to the pod.
The Big Black Muffin name. That's not sticking, Charlie. Let it go.
It's going to stick. I want to make it stick. You have no choice in the matter, bro. It's there. It's on you. You did it to yourself.
No, I didn't actually. You chose
God.
to. Anywho.
Yeah, y'all. Yeah, go ahead. My bad. Go ahead. Say what you gonna say.
No, you go ahead. Go ahead, Sue. I'm passing to you.
No, I was going to let Zach introduce himself and tell us a little bit. Well, before we get into the main topics, just tell the chat a little bit about who he is and what he's about.
Cool, yeah. So, Zach, I'm one of the organizers and founders of a group called the Players Alliance. For far too long, we've seen a lot of these corporate publishers in the gaming industry who have way too much power, see us as ATMs, and just want to squeeze us for as much money as possible so that, they can pay the execs and shareholders while us gamers are struggling just to get by. And so we formed the Players Alliance where, this is all about how we're bringing gamers, devs, creators together so that we can actually fight for what we love about gaming and inspire an industry that actually thrives on passion for gaming, the affordability, creative freedom that we love about it, and not just about filling investors' pockets. And so, we're building a good community and building a movement so that we can actually go and fight for what we want to see in gaming. And so here today, to talk a little bit about that and also talk about everything else gaming with y'all.
Yeah. Thanks so much for coming on, man. You guys have probably seen the Players Alliance stuff around or seen my face. Or maybe, I think, Otis, you've been on a reel or two, doing content with the guys. This is a message and a movement that I'm 100% behind. I feel like this is something that people talk about all the time in regards to tired of games being premature or microtransactions in them or insert thing here. There's always a major issue. There's a slew of them, and it never changes. I feel like it hasn't changed over like the last decade in gaming. So something like this is kind of needed to kind of maybe tip these corporations in the direction of trying to be better.
Right, exactly. I mean, there are so many franchises that have been staples of the gamer community that have now been just overrun with every potential way to monetize the game or just get people to play so much of it that you don't really have time to do anything else. They absorb all of our time, all of our money. They form community within itself, but within that community they're finding ways to exploit you, and that's never what gaming was supposed to be about. It was always supposed to be about passion. It was supposed to be about finding ways to enjoy, finding ways to escape. So this has been a movement that I've been a part of since early on in the process, and I've been happy to be here to support. So, good chance to get to actually talk about Zach on it, because we've talked about it so much off camera, behind the scenes on so many things. So getting actually to do it on stage a little bit, it's fun time. Get to mess with Zach a little bit more. I get to troll here.
Zach, I want to point out, Otis is over here trying to copy my swag with the glasses now. He's sounding all intellectual and shit. He has glasses on now.
Yo, I was like, I've never seen Otis looking like this before, man.
Yeah. No, I mean, to read small text now, I kind of...
Damn, you getting up there, ain't you?
A little bit.
It's that millennial energy over there, man.
I know.
Boy. But before we get into some of the more, because we did bring Zach on to talk about the Pause EA deal that some of you may have seen in some of the reels for the Players Alliance and just the marketing that they do for it in general. Before we get into that, though, we wanted to have a little fun here and get into some positive things in gaming, or, seemingly positive things in gaming. As a lot of people are aware of, the Gaming Awards are right around the corner, and we got nominees for a bunch of games. But I wanted to focus on the main category that most people talk about, being the Game of the Year. So, for people that are here, there are 6 nominees this year. First and foremost being Clear, Obscure, Expedition 33, Death Stranding 2 on the Beach, Donkey Kong Bonanza, Hades 2, Hollow Knight Silk Song, and Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. Me personally, I played 2 out of these 6, and I've seen some streams for the other 2 as well. So I beat and purchased Clear, Obscure, Expedition 33 myself. I bought Death Stranding 2, but have not finished it. I wasn't the. I'm not the biggest Death Stranding fan. I love the story for it, and I love watching the people play the story. But like the gameplay loop for me isn't the most entertaining. It's not personally for me. And then I watch streams of Hollow Knight Silk Song. Shout out to my guy, Blurbox. He did a bunch of those streams for that. That was dope. And then I've heard a lot of good things about the other games. But how do you guys feel about these games, these nominees? Are there any games that you guys feel like were left out, or do you guys feel like these are like the right 6 for the nominations?
I mean, I'm just not a big Nintendo fan in general right now, so I would sub that out for South of Midnight any day of the week. I don't know how that missed being nominated to here.
You know why?
Yeah. It even get nominated for the best score, and I was like, this is the most intentional scoring for a video game that I've ever seen. Like, every piece of the music was part of the storytelling. How you not even...
I need to do a video on that game at some point soon, because the fact that they had the score and then also had pieces of music with and without vocals that they added into it, and all the songs were in reference to the boss fights or the levels you were on, and told that story. Again, we know why South of Midnight didn't get the attention it deserved. A lot of that was a drama when the game was even initially announced anyway, but that's a whole different conversation for another day.
Yeah, but other than that, I mean, I've seen Felicia play a bunch of Silk Song and it's fire. I mean, Claire Obscure has the most compelling story I've come across in a very long time. So, I mean, I'm pretty sure it's going to win. It should. But Death Stranding is also a fantastic franchise. I kind of agree with Charlie, too. Like, the gameplay loop of it itself, like, actually playing through it isn't very smooth. Or maybe I'm just not good enough at it to, like, you know, feel fluent in it yet, but I do really enjoy watching streams of it. I love watching the walkthroughs and cutscenes of it. You know what I mean? It's a genius behind it, so I'm not too I'm not too surprised by it being here. If it won, I wouldn't be too hurt by it. It is a very popular franchise, but Claire Obscure, I mean, I think that's going to take it. Hades 2. Now that I'm getting into my enjoyment of roguelikes, I do actually really enjoy Hades 2. Really difficult game. You got to try to get through the entire game in one shot by collecting your upgrades going throughout it. So a game that I can just kind of like jump on, play in one go, and if I die, I die, and just come back to it another time. I kind of appreciate the format of that. I can, choose my own adventure every time I go into it. So I wouldn't be upset if Hades 2 won either. Kingdom Come Deliverance is the only one of these I'm not really familiar with at all. I've heard positive things about it, like from reviews after seeing that it was nominated. But yeah, if I had to pick, I mean, it's Clear Obscure. But
Yeah.
not having South of Midnight up here is a crime to me. It was a beautifully crafted game.
The other game, just because Otis and I played this a bit together, that I think's missing, Blueprints.
Blueprints is so underrated, man.
Yo,
oh my god.
Have you played that, Charlie?
I have not. Matter of fact, let me look up some gameplay for it while I'm sitting here, while we're sitting here talking about it, because I've not.
It's just it's a different game. Like it's actually similar to Hades. It's like it's kind of like a roguelike, but
it's definitely a roguelike.
It is, yeah, it is. But it's like you're this kid who's inheriting your like dead grandfather or dead uncle's like money, but you have to figure out how to get to a specific room, and so you have a certain number of steps. And you go into the mansion, and then each of the rooms shifts every single day, and you have to like use. It's just like it's like you're like, oh, why is this game good? And then you get addicted to it, and then it just starts getting more and more. Yeah. So this is like where you just keep getting different rooms, and then you have to strategize and it's like awesome artwork. I mean, you got.
I love this telltale artwork style, that 3D art. Yeah, I love that.
And then it just keeps getting deeper and deeper as you go. So it's just like this really fascinating. Like, oh man, I mean, Otis and I were like playing this, and like we're like, all right, we hear all this stuff, let's check it out. And then it was just like,
blown away. Honestly, like such a great experience. Everything from like reading through the small books like this to figuring out how to maneuver through each room to actually like reset yourself up from like previous times through. Like you got to get to the West Wing if you want to get outside to the parlor to come back around and have that shortcut for yourself, and just all the small like. I didn't realize that book just showed what that like. That's exactly what that bridge looked like in the side of the house. So like just small nuggets like that, like really intentionally made game. Roguelikes, you're really growing on me. It's starting to become a good franchise, man. I mean, Arc Raiders is a roguelike.
oh yeah, I still gotta hop on that. Like I have it, I bought it, but I haven't played it yet.
Saying I played like through the tutorial and like one mission with some randoms. I got some friends that have it. I got to sit down and play with some friends with it. I feel like the way you feel about roguelike, that's been me with turn-based games lately. I played like a few of them growing up, but the last like year or two between I played Expedition 33, Midnight Suns. What was the third one?
Persona. You gotta play Persona, bro.
I started Persona 5 because I was demanded from Nick, Greg, and Sean to start that. So I
about the soundtrack.
So far, I love it. I think I like for one of my video essays, one of my recent videos, I slipped the music for it in one of the videos.
It's fire. It's my
sick.
personal favorite soundtrack in the game.
Yeah, I want to finish that on stream probably. I'll probably do like a full playthrough either for member content or something of the sort. I'll probably record that. But that being the case, I not only brought up the gaming awards to have the general dialogue and appreciation for these amazing games that were released, but there's a little bit of drama that I wanted to kind of go through, and that drama is based around what a lot of people feel like is going to be the overwhelming favorite to win the Game of the Year award, being Expedition 33. So I have 3 clips. I'm going to play these 3 clips, and we're going to react and kind of discuss these 3 clips and kind of where the culture of gaming may be right now and where it may be going. So here's clip number 1.
Okay, I have a fucking genuine question. Let me listen the fuck up. There is no way. Who plays this? I'm not even kidding. In the chat, put it on God that you've either heard of this game or played it. What in the fuck is Expedition 33? I've never even heard of this game. All I know is that it's some turn-based dog shit. Look at this. This is by the way, this is what's gonna win Game of the Year apparently. Some turn-based brain rot shit that only weebs like. I'm sorry, how? I'm not even kidding. This is a 5 out of 10 game at best. How is this even a highly rated game? How is this a highly rated game? This shit is turn-based, bro. How?
So that's obviously pretty. It's rage bait for the most part.
Yeah.
But here's probably someone that kind of has similar opinions, but it's probably more of an honest conversation.
Expedition 33.
Glaze 2025
Hold on.
continues.
No, because hold on. I played it, and it was cool to me. I like the soundtrack of it. I think it's great. The story is great. All that. When I went to Metacritic and saw it's one of the highest rated games ever, that I can agree with you, was a little glazed, but also surprised. It was the only game to have a 9.8. A 9.8 is kind of crazy to me because I also don't feel like the story is that complex.
Everything is rated high now.
You know what it is?
Everything.
It's the Thunderbolts of gaming right now. That's exactly what it is.
But
Everything
I
is
still
rated
don't-
high.
I
That's
still
what?
don't
I
understand.
feel like
Go ahead.
there's so many games that could have been easily like a.
Baldur's Gate's not even rated that
There's
high.
better games, period.
That's understandable.
Don't do that because
I
Baldur's
feel-
Gate's won Game of the Year for a reason. You know how. Don't do that.
Yeah,
Don't do
There's a
that.
lot of people who like bestiality.
What's it called? What's it called again? Miscommunication 25? What'd you say? What was the name of it?
Expedition
You won't-
33.
It's turn-based. You won't like it.
Dude.
It's fantasy turn-based. That
But
makes
what
sense.
I also thought was very interesting, and so this was an indie game.
Not even The Last of Us Part 2.
This is an indie game that gets rated a 9.8. So the guy said he just took like animators and creators that on their off season and put them together to make this game.
Yeah, 30
so this
people,
wasn't even like
took 'em 5
something-
years.
Yeah, it wasn't even something serious. This was like a side thing that they did.
But this goes to show it took 30 people 5 years to do this. Sony, Microsoft got stop giving me BS games that y'all been spending 10 years to make.
So, last clip we have, I know that was a little bit longer one. Obviously, I gave you guys 2 clips that lean more into the one direction of the game. But now we have a conversation from, somebody that I think the community is going to recognize that has an opposite opinion.
I'm telling you, you gotta tell these people to shut the fuck up, bro. Did you see that, TBH? Someone in your comments said there's too much Expedition 33 glazing. That's what creates the vicious cycle of like negativity. Everybody just sits on the internet, grifts and bitches about shit, and then people show love to something, and then people be like, "Oh, you're glazing." Like I saw it in the comment section of my video. The dude was saying that people were glazing Expedition 33 too hard. He was saying that it hasn't done anything Final Fantasy hasn't done. Somebody in the comments replied, and they said, "Yeah, just say you didn't play the game," which I agree because Final Fantasy 16 and Final Fantasy Rebirth ain't got nothing on this game. Like, what the fuck are you talking about, dude? PS4 love to pretend like they're not broke. They love to say the reason they didn't get a PS5 or the new Xbox is because there's nothing to play on the new generation. There's no new IPs. You get a new IP that's great and be like, nah, y'all glazing that shit, bro. Play Final Fantasy fucking 16, bro.
So, that's essentially what we have so far. Initial thoughts, reactions, go.
Yeah, I mean, turn-based have been around for so long. So trying to act like this is like some type of new concept of a thing. Like Pokemon has been around for how long now? I mean, Final Fantasy, so to even start to like try to discredit on that way. I mean, if you don't like the type of game, I mean that's on you. But it's better that like the first 5 minutes of the game before you even start actually playing it is better than like 80% of the games that have come out in like the last 4 years. Like,
Yeah.
come on now. Like Glaze. I mean, if you have not watched at least the first cutscene, don't talk negatively about the game. You don't know anything about it.
I mean, also the story is just like incredible. Like it's like folks who are just talking about it like that. I'm like, nah, we're not doing spoilers on here, right?
Oh, we can. I did a whole spoiler review video on the game like 2 months after it came out. This is like, well, after that, you're fine.
Yo, I'm like,
spoiler alert.
I'm
people
like
that
at
don't wanna
the
spoil game.
at the end of Act 1, if you're not like being like, what the, like that game has twist the gameplay. It's just like the fact that it's not just it's turn based, but like you have to have good rhythm and timing just on the parries, because it's not like you can just choose to parry or not. Like some bosses, like if you want to beat them, you got to match that timing, and that's like 16 moves like that are all off different things. So it's like both, it's not just turn based, it's like such an active way of playing it that was like a nice spin on like how so many turn based games are. And I don't know, I mean, I feel like it's people who've never played this game who are having these hot takes because it's all just like clickbait at this point.
Yeah, a lot of it is clickbait. Looking at the story aspect of things, it's like I've played a lot of story-based games in my lifetime. Single-player story-based games are usually where I thrive. That was like my favorite thing to do and play growing up. And I've been watching and reviewed a lot of shows, a lot of movies. I feel like I've seen a lot of story beats. There's not too many stories that can 100% surprise me or take me by surprise in regards to where this story's going to go. This game genuinely, like, I think at the end of the first arc, or the first little chunk you had there, genuinely surprised me. I was like, oh shit, I did not see that coming. And I have the videos up and the stats and the numbers that show that I've watched and consumed a lot of the stuff. So for people that are saying that they could predict this thing, I call bullshit. I call bullshit on that. I'm sorry. I call bullshit. To predict what the homage was and to predict it's kind of crazy, like what I thought about playing through it initially before you kind of find out the ending and all what was going on there. I'm like, yeah, there's no way you guessed all this stuff. No. And then going into the turn-based aspect, I can understand why people would feel a certain type of way because you're not used to turn-based games. I wasn't a major turn-based game fan myself until I played Baldur's Gate. Because I played them a little bit growing up. I think I played like the Yu Yu Hakusho Dirt Tournament Game Boy game. That was like my first one I probably played back in the day. So I played a few. Pokemon, obviously. But this turn-based game was something that really blew me away because it was very innovative in the fact that it was turn-based, but yet you were still had to be an active participant in what was going on there. And it's something that I don't think a lot of people discuss enough. Go ahead.
It's Dark Souls Persona. Like, they just infused into make this level of greatness. Like,
Yeah.
you have to be so skilled at playing this to really actually make it beyond the first fight. So it's belittling to just call it like, a typical turn-based game. Like, actually give it a chance. It's hard to not like it. Honestly, it is very difficult even before you get to your first actual gameplay. Like, just seeing the story, seeing the cutscene, seeing the art, seeing the paintress for the first time, like,
dog, I don't. So one thing I like to focus on when we're discussing what's the win game of the year. Normally, I don't have too much of an opinion because a lot of it is just either story based or preference. What I always look for when it comes to a game of the year is, did that game innovate in any way the gaming industry or how games are played? If we get a game that has like genuine innovation in it that I haven't seen before, which I feel like at this point it's kind of hard to do because we're so far into gaming and the technology. Like, I feel like a lot of ideas have been done. So when you can give me something genuine like this, to me, it has to win. Like, the other games are great, but Expedition 33 and the way that they did the turn-based is something that I'm honestly hoping to see a lot more people kind of emulate, because it's a way about going about it to where you can have your turn-based thing, but it's really successful when you get a good parry off. And even if you don't want to go like the way of parrying everything, you can block. It has so many different facets that you can go about playing the game that I feel like it deserves to win that. And I think the glaze for it is appropriate because it's, to me, even like
is appropriate.
Yeah. Me, like 5 hours into this game, I was like, yeah, this is a generational game. This is one of those ones.
It was when it's a game that you don't want to end. Like, that was like how I felt. Like, I was like, oh man, I'm just like, I do not want this to be over. I don't want this story to end. I would just want to keep playing. And I just also want to name, like, out of all the games that are nominated this year, it's the only non-sequel, right? Like, everything else there, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, Silk Song is the sequel, right? Hades 2, Donkey Kong. I mean, there's way too many Donkey Kongs. But, they're all sequels, and this is like a first of its kind, sort of building on it. So to your point about innovation, like, we should be celebrating, like, when people take risks and they come out with something and then like gamers love it. So I don't know. Yeah. And it's also cool that it's like only, I think, half of the nominees are also just like not AAA games. I think is also I think that's a big deal too.
Yeah, I mean,
Agreed.
It's definitely part of a visible shift. I mean, innovation, taking something familiar and adding a new spin on it, that's really only happening from the indie department right now. I mean, the AAAs are usually focused on what's going to make them the most money, so you're seeing more of the same. Call of Duty is announcing that they're dropping four new old maps. Like,
oh, that's not a topic today, right? The new Call of Duty.
I don't have the time. We need to be here for 5 hours. But that being the case, we can get into something that's connected to that adjacent, being the pause EA deal, in regards to companies that want to milk you dry with the same thing over and over again. Zach, do you want to kind of break down and explain to people what the EA deal, and especially what the pause EA deal campaign is that Players Alliance is organizing, and like why people should be tuned into that?
Sure. I mean, I guess I can give a little background for folks who don't know about sort of what's going on with EA, but the most hated gaming publisher, I think, in America, or is it the world? What did you say?
I think it was a global win from last time I saw it. I mean, I feel like it's literally between like that and maybe USL probably in my mind.
I mean, yeah, they were the ones who got, nominated as the worst company in the world, I think, back in like 2013, 2014, even against like Exxon. They're like, you take all the worst companies, they're like, nah, people are like, EA's the worst. But what's happening now, for folks who haven't been paying attention, is it's like EA has a pending buyout right now for $55 billion. And this is the largest leverage buyout in the history of America. And this is being done by 3 parties. It's the Saudi Sovereign Wealth Fund. So for the Crown Prince who from Saudi Arabia, this is their sovereign wealth fund directly from the government taking a stake, along with Silver Lake Private Equity. And then, of course, Jared Kushner, who is, if folks haven't heard of him, he is the son-in-law of our current president, Trump. And so this whole deal, like a lot of folks heard just like $55 billion, maybe this will fix EA. The piece that they're missing is that as part of this, it's a leveraged buyout. So that means adding $20 billion in debt onto EA using EA's assets to cover it. So that means that every single year, if this deal goes through, EA has to service $1 billion in debt. And so this is a big thing that's going to lead. If you think about having to pay that debt off, what does that mean for gamers? It means we're going to see more aggressive monetization. They're going to do layoffs of a lot of the devs, closing of studios, and then adding AI as a way to cover those labor costs and replace the devs, and just focus on what is the safe bet. So what is, like, instead of like Mass Effect 4 or thinking about even Split Fiction and stuff that we saw this year, EA will then start focusing in just on the games that make it the most money. So you think about Madden, FC, WWE, Battlefields, but then figuring out how do they milk us for even more money while providing even worse products. Because that's all they care about at the end of the day with this deal is how they make more money at our expense. And so I guess that's some of the background on this whole deal. And so with the Players Alliance, what we're looking to do is that I think one of the things I forgot I left out at the beginning, right, is that these game companies can't exist without us, right? As gamers, like, they can't, these investors, these shareholders, they're not making any money, like, unless we're buying those games, unless we are paying those microtransactions, buying those new games, paying for consoles, paying for whatever. And so, and yet they take advantage of it. They see us as ATMs. And so with Pause EA, our idea is like, look, this is a moment where we're gonna make a choice. Are we gonna let private equity and folks start to sink their teeth more into the industry and try to squeeze us for even more money, or us as gamers, are we going to start fighting back? And so that's what Pause EA is. So right now, this is our moment where, this deal has not been finished yet or finalized. It still has to get approved by government regulators. So what does it look like for us as gamers to actually get organized? I think we hear gamers talk about vote for your wallet or I'm not going to do this, but what happens if we start doing that at scale? What happens if we all start actually saying, you know what, we're not going to support, this deal going through because we know what it means, not just for like EA, whether you hate EA or not. Like some people I hear like go, oh, well, EA, maybe they'll just die now and that's okay. That's okay. But there'll always be a next EA. So if we don't make stands now and start pushing back, then we're going to start seeing them try to get into Take-Two. Or do they start getting in with Microsoft? Do we start seeing that same blueprint happen? And so, pause EA. We're saying press pause on EA for the holidays. So, saying for this holiday season, we're going to send a message to EA and its owner or its future owners potentially that we're not going to take it. So we're saying don't spend any money from Black Friday through the holidays on anything in EA. So that means microtransactions, cancel your EA Play subscription, don't buy any new games. If you're still playing some of the games, that's all right. You're not spending any new money on it. This is the way we can fight back as a community and actually start showing what it means and spreading the word.
Yeah, and the thing I really want to emphasize for people is the idea, because I already know like the number one thing that people will ask about this and probably get pushback to is, oh, us just signing petitions or doing this won't do anything. I challenge that thought for people that have that thought when I look at something even as recent as the stuff with Target, right? Where Target was known for not being very pro-black and having a lot of different issues with the way their company worked. And just black people as a whole, just one minority group of people said, we're not going to give our business to Target. And just recently, I think they fired their president they had in order, and then they brought in somebody new, and then they are also inputting a bunch of different initiatives and things of that nature to be pro-black for either entrepreneurs or different things of that nature. So that's just one major company that one minority group said that we're not going to back. Now take that and include everyone, like be inclusive of every type of gamer, every color, every background possible, and tell them, oh yeah, we're not going to give you any of our new hard-earned money. Even if the deal goes through, to your point, it's going to show the people that are taking over the company that, yeah, you can't just, we're not with the bullshit. We're not going for that. And I think this is very important, because if we don't set these precedents going on forward, then issues happen like this. And we've seen it already with, even on a smaller scale with something like 2K. I think me and Otis can attribute that to the in theory that when in 2013, when they first introduced the concept of VC, where it was just a cosmetic thing and it didn't really impact your online play, people said it was an issue then, and it was going to be an issue, and a lot of creators talked about that. And over time, they've been like, "Oh, you're not mad now? Cool. We'll just throw a little bit more, and we'll make it to where now you need this VC to upgrade your player. Oh, you still not mad? Cool. We'll make it to where this VC costs more money. And now we're at a point to where to buy a game is going to cost you $70 to $80, even at the basic edition, more than likely. Then if you want to make an online player, it's going to cost you like almost another $100 to make that player viable. And then you still have to do the traditional things to play the game. So in these, again, that went unchecked for years, and that's what they got to that extent. And with this in particular, if we don't check this, it can become a bigger issue, especially when we're looking at the aspect of them operating in a debt deficit to where they're going to cut corners to try to make up for that money. One of those big things is probably going to be the implementation for a lot more AI work, which I'm not 100% against AI usage at all, but in regards to that replacing people's jobs that they didn't need to be replaced only because you're trying to save money and cut corners, now I have a little bit of an issue with that, especially in something that is a creative process like a video game that's supposed to be art, essentially. So that's a lot of my bigger reasons why I'm on board with this and trying to push this as much as possible to people, and why I suggest for everybody to, one, sign the petition, and then two, participate in this and not giving EA any of your new hard-earned money.
Yeah, so I mean, this is more than just like, us trying to demonize a single company here. This is about like actually trying to stop them from setting precedent and trying to privatize the gaming industry as a whole. So if you want to be able to still be able to give these companies feedback via social media, via user-generated content, to actually like shape the industry into what you want it to be and what we all deserve it to be, we need to like actually take action and make sure that we are being aware of when these things are happening. Because if the shifts start and we are not resistant to it, it's going to keep pushing more, and it's going to get worse. So if you've ever enjoyed like Mass Effect, Dragon Age when it was still good, Battlefield, before they killed it, Titanfall, I'll still never forgive Apex Legends for butchering Titanfall 3. But still, like, if you have ever been passionate about one of these games, if you ever played, Fight Night, Def Jam, like, I mean, there's such a long history of EA games that have like inflected the culture of gaming. If you want to see like a return to those, we have to find ways to take control now, because it'll only get worse.
Exactly. Like, I mean, it's funny. Like, I have like a cousin who, I think he's like 20. I think he's 20 or 19 or something like that right now. And he doesn't remember a time gaming when they didn't have microtransactions. Like, I remember that period of time. Like, I remember when they brought in for Oblivion horse armor for the first time. People were like, that's kind of weird that you want to charge for that, but okay. And then look where we're at now. But we don't have to accept. Like, that's what I feel like. I feel like we don't have to accept, like, how things are now and just go, that's just how it's always going to be. And that's where it's, like, how we get organized. Talk about, like, how we're building power. Because I think that's what... I feel like I think you were just talking about it, Charlie, but it's like, if we actually get together as gamers, and it is something like, even when we watch those Expedition 33 clips, like, you know, you got people giving hot takes and stuff, but one of the things that I feel like I see across even all the grifters for the most part too, like, everyone's like, yo, this corporate greed is out of control in the industry. And so it's one of those things that we can actually, like, people that we may disagree with on a lot of other shit, they actually are going to agree with us even on this. And that's where I think there's like this really this big opportunity, because these big publishers want us divided.
And that's the big point that you brought up, is something that's crazy to me. The idea that like right-wing grifters that make content based around them having the belief that someone that looks like me or believes like me shouldn't even have rights or exist in general, like either them being the big R or them just, you know, being anti-women. The fact that these scum of the earth individuals can still be like, yeah, this is getting kind of bad, and acknowledge that, goes to show how bad this is. When you're uniting everybody on this one standpoint. People that called Assassin's Creed Shadows woke are still like, yeah, this probably shouldn't happen either.
I mean, you know how much EA, 73% of its revenue every year is off microtransactions.
I'd be interested to see the numbers on like the top two companies for that, because I feel like it'd be like EA and Take-Two would be like the number one and two companies.
Up there, because off of 2K, NBA 2K and WWE 2K alone, oh my goodness.
Well, I'm trying to remember. I don't think the last WWE game I played was 2K23 or 24, I think. And to my knowledge, they didn't charge VC for upgrading my wrestler at that point. I think I upgraded my wrestler purely from playing the game, which is still kind of crazy to me, because if you're doing it here, why are you not doing it in 2K? Well, I know why you're not doing it, but I don't know.
It's only whatever they can get away with.
Yeah, so that it's crazy, dog. It's crazy to think about how that goes from the key standpoint of even if you want to charge stuff for cosmetic things, right? Let's say we're looking at something like a Marvel Rivals, where it's like, okay, cool, we'll give you all these heroes for free, but you know, we'll charge you like $10-$20 for this new skin that we're going to put into the game. I don't mind things like that. If I'm getting to play the most of the game, like 99% of the game for free, and this skin doesn't affect my experience of playing the game, and you want to charge me $10 for something that's purely cosmetic that you know I'm going to like, perfect. I think that's a happy compromise, because a game like Warframe, I think, is a really ethical game in the way they go about it, because they'll even go to like certain people that like certain players in the game and have them design skins, and they'll add those skins to the game that you can then purchase. But you can grind, you can even get that skin damn near, well, most of the skins for free if you wanted to, just by trading parts in the game. So again, it may take you a little bit longer, but at the end of the day, I'm not going to force the concept of you needing to buy this thing down your throat. I'm not making you feel that sense of FOMO if you don't buy this skin, because it's not going to affect how you feel about this game as a whole.
Yeah, I mean, as a fashion framer that has probably spent some money on some skins, none of it's actually affected the gameplay. I mean, you can buy weapons in there. Those weapon packs, especially early on in the game, actually can make a hell of a difference.
But you can still get those weapons for free, though, if you get the blueprints.
Exactly.
And build them up.
Yeah, you can get the blueprints literally by playing through your story missions. It takes longer. There's going to be a time gap. You know, a weapon might take like 12 actual real-time hours to make, but you can still make it.
I think part of that, too, is the whole idea that it gives you time to breathe from the game. I think there are too many games that want to like throw microtransactions in your face, but also want you to stay on the game 24/7. So in a game like Warframe, it's like, all right, cool. If you want to get this brand new weapon we put in the game, you can go grind for the blueprint, grind for the resources, and it'll take you 16 hours to build it, go do life, and then come back tomorrow and your weapon's there. You can have fun and do stuff. Other games will be like, all right, here's this new expansion pack. And in order to get everything in this pass, you have to play this game for like 20 hours straight, and you have to do it within this month to get everything in here, or you'll never see this shit again.
Cough,
Oh
Destiny.
my god.
Fortnite, I feel like
Destiny?
the thing like that. Yeah,
Yeah.
Destiny. It's crazy, man.
I mean, but it's even like to that piece where it's like all about just sucking up attention. Like it's how many people, like, if so many people didn't play Fortnite, like how many other games would we be able to have if if people actually spent time being able to play like a bunch of these other things. Like we talked about like all these indie titles or like AA games that are phenomenal, but all these AAA companies are spending all this money trying to be the next Fortnite. I think, anyways, that's like a whole another route to go down on just like some of the
we
problems
can,
in the industry.
and we can go down that route at some point because I feel like we don't talk about gaming enough on the pod anyway.
We can talk about how GTA 6 is literally going to change the economy in one day.
The national GDP is going to change based off of the release of Grand Theft Auto 6.
Although I wonder if GTA 6 gets delayed another time because they got they're having like workers on strike in the UK right now.
Yep, and I think they want to avoid having a release like Cyberpunk. Because even though that game still reviews really well, it's an amazing game. They lost a lot of potential people and money from that game, like we're launching as bad as it did.
Oh man, although it is a great game now. I haven't played the DLC for it, but Cyberpunk's great.
It was fire. I think I was like sat down late last year and like I think I did when I first got my gaming PC. What I mean, I no life that game. Like my friends couldn't find me for at least a smooth 3 weeks. It was nothing but that game.
Man.
I guess to some this might be a hot take, but I do think it's one of Keanu's better performances in general. Like
I think it may be his best.
Like,
what do you mean, Bill and Ted? Bill and Ted was fire, man.
That was fun. Hell, I even enjoyed his recent thing. The bad comedy movie he did with not Akash Singh. What's his buddy's name? Kumar, I think. No, that's the character's name he played. I think the one where Keanu's playing an angel, essentially, and it's like him being as dry as he has ever been, but it's still funny. Like Keanu being dry within the right writers for it makes it work. Makes him funny, even though he's not delivering any kind of emotion in his lines for real. It's crazy. But before we continue on with the last topic we have, Zach, can you tell people where they can go to be a part of the Pause EA deal or the campaign and where they can get support?
For sure, yeah. So, if you want to get more information, you can go on our website, playersalliancehq.org, and that'll have both information on the campaign, how to plug in, and then, come on and join the Discord. That's where we're doing a lot of the strategizing, and it's also like fun community. We got rivals nights and do a lot of game nights, but this is also about like how we have fun, enjoying what we love about gaming, and actually want to make sure the industry and what we love about gaming stays that way, and we can actually take on what's happening. So, so playersalliancehq.org. Check out our IG, Discord, all of the above. You'll probably see a lot of Captain Diesel on a lot of that. So,
yeah. And I'll try to have the links for all those things in the description below. So if you guys just want to click the description, you can find links to the Discord, the website, the social media, and all that good stuff. One thing, Otis, you mentioned earlier that I guess kind of transitions into what our last topic is going to be is the idea that gamers in general, one thing I want to point out is a lot of new gamers. I think 2020 ushered in a brand new generation of gamers, of people that are even older that were thinking about getting into gaming, but now they're inside with nothing to do for months on end to, I think, went on for 2 years. They're like, all right, I'll build this PC, I'll buy this PS5, and I'll play some games. But the issue we had for a lot of people is that, some of that stuff was maybe pretty expensive, especially if you're a younger person. Well, recently, there was a big announcement that shook the industry in gaming and may potentially be a good game changer in regards to setting a new precedent of how gaming is going to go going forward. And that is the release and the announce of the new Steam hardware that they're going to release here. The first thing I want to focus on, at least the main thing, is the Steam machine. For people that are not aware of what this is, the Steam machine is essentially something that's going to be like the size of a GameCube, and it's going to be a new console, but it's also doubling as kind of like a mini PC. And it's going to run the Steam OS, so you'll be able to buy Steam games on this and play Steam games. Steam being probably the biggest, if not one of the biggest libraries in gaming, having even some PlayStation games and Xbox games on there, as well as having a bunch of different stuff from smaller or indie creators, from like cozy horror games that you can play on there to AAA titles. And it's going to be really interesting because this thing's also going to have a lot of different factors. One, obviously, first and foremost, it's going to be really quiet. It's very compact and portable, so if you're traveling across the country or to your auntie's house, you don't have to worry about having a whole suitcase to put your Xbox or your PlayStation in. You can legit just like throw this in your backpack with a little cushion and you'll be good. The CPU and the GPU are really strong. It's said to be 2 times stronger than a Stream Deck, so it's going to be a pretty strong thing. And then the storage on it is going to be pretty sizable from what I see there. and it's going to have pretty good connectability. And it's also going to be customizable to an extent. So one thing that I saw about it that's a little bit further down is that it literally is a regular PC. So it's designed for gaming, but you can install your own apps, your own streaming applications on there, and I think you can even install other operating system if you want to. So it's really customizable. This being a PC essentially in the form of a console, and from what I've heard rumored about it, is that it's going to be priced at possibly around $500, makes this the most affordable gaming option out there with the most games that are out there. And then because Steam is also really good about deals, there are going to be a lot of significant deals to where you can buy games for $7 to $2. I think I bought the entire Mass Effect Legendary Edition trilogy for like $10 on there, and that was 3 whole AAA title games. That, granted, they're older, but it's still amazing games. And the best thing about it as well, to make it even easier for people to get into, is that you can buy this thing and use any of the controllers you already have. So if you have a PlayStation, an Xbox already, and you don't want to buy a new controller for this because they also sell a controller, but it may be a little bit more pricey, you can just hook up your Xbox or your PlayStation controller and rock out, because Steam has inputs, and a lot of games have preset inputs for either controller for a lot of people as well. It's an OS operating system in Steam that's a lot more compatible to the gamers itself as far as being more community based, and it has a lot of things that go towards making gaming more positive towards the gamer itself. Biggest thing and last thing I'll bring up is the whole idea that I can buy a game, play it up for up to I think 2 hours, and if I don't like the game, I can return it and get my full refund for it, as long as it's within like 30 days. So Steam is just really, really player and consumer friendly in the way they operate, and I think this is something that's gonna be really important in how gamers game going forward. What are the initial thoughts and reactions to the Steam machine? I think they had like the Steam Frame too, which is going to be like a VR headset, which I'm not worried about. I don't really do VR. And the Steam controller, which is the fully customizable controller that you can do pretty much anything with as far as customizability.
You know, the first thing that comes to mind is this feels like it's screwing over Microsoft and Xbox the most, right? Because like they've made their whole thing like everything's an Xbox. And they're like, basically, that was always the rumor, right? That whatever the next Xbox that comes out is going to be something that has Steam on it. And then you got Valve being like, well, actually, I think I mean, we'll see if it stays the 500, but I mean, this is awesome. Like if it, if it does all the things it says it's going to do, man, I'm like, that'd be great if you could take this, hook it up to your TV, like basically play every game. The only advantage to get like a Switch or a PS5 then just becomes like, oh, well, they got the exclusives. But
and the way it's looking, those exclusives may not be exclusive for too much longer, because I know Xbox finally expanded out and putting their exclusive on just the PlayStation stores in itself. And from what I'm hearing in the rumor tree is that PlayStation may start, unexclusifying, I guess is the word for it that I'm going to make up for some of their games. Just because I think they'll make more money with it not being exclusive, especially if this hardware is this affordable. Because even if this is just like the price of what the original Xbox and PlayStation was before their price hike, I still think it's worth it for how... like for gamers of all ages. Like if I'm a kid and I want to like take my thing to my grandma's house or my mom's house or whatever else, I don't have to do all this extra shit to unplug it. I can just pop it out and then put it in my backpack and go, or like hold it in my hand.
I think the one thing would be though, like, this is like, it's one of those questions for like a dev or something like that. It's just like how, when you're porting it between like a PS5 and like the Steam machine, how that works, and like whether that because I feel like that's also like an additional expense. But I don't know, man. I'm not sure. I don't know if Sony's gonna switch stuff, because I feel like that's like the main reason you get a PS5 at this point. If all of a sudden they were like Ghost of Yotai is gonna be on Steam day one, you're gonna be like, why would you have a PS5 then?
I think the only advantage they have is the fact that most people already have it. But I think if this is $500, that kind of kills that, because if it's that cheap and that affordable, like I see a lot of people moving over to this pretty quickly. And the fact that you can use whatever controllers you already have to use this as well, and the fact that as a parent, if I'm a parent and I'm looking at this and I'm like, okay, cool, I'm buying my kid a Steam machine. The big thing that my mom always had an issue with if she was ever to get us a new console is she's still gonna have to pay like $60 to get us a new game. The fact you can buy this and that same $60 could probably get you like anywhere between 3 to like 15 games It's kind of crazy, especially if you have a kid.
Oh, and the Steam like holiday sales and everything else, where it's like, all right, here's some games for $2.
Literally, no, they're genuinely good games.
Yeah, I mean, well, first of all, sign me up for it. I mean, when it drops, I'll definitely be grabbing mine day one. Pause. But I mean, yeah. So
Pause
I
EA.
am curious about pause EA. There you go. But I am curious about like how this does affect the developer side. Like like does this like if people transition over to this heavily, does this like start to cost them even more money to have to develop their games to be formatted to this new system essentially? Also, I mean, I know that I think it's like Steam gets 30% of all the sales of their games through their platform. So I mean,
Yeah, that's all of them. Xbox, Xbox, Steam, Sony, they all take a 30% cut on every game.
But at that point, though, I feel like I'm not as mad at it just for the factor of Steam usually does pretty well about even promoting smaller games. Because I remember that was like a big issue with even Expedition 33 with the Game Pass, is that Xbox is taking a large chunk of that money and you're able to get it on the Game Pass in front of more eyes, but there's not really any marketing for the most part on it. There's no push for it. They're kind of doing the Disney approach to where, we'll fund and help you make Eyes of Wakanda, but we're not going to put any extra money towards promoting this thing to people. Like, I feel like Expedition 33 for the most part was like 90% word to mouth in regards to how popular it got. Like everybody was making content around it and talking about how good it was, and more and more people jumped on. I don't remember ever seeing even a regular gameplay trailer for it being pushed anywhere or seen it on any platforms for Xbox.
Well, there's like a whole thing with the subscriptions because I mean, it's sort of like a bet, right? Like if you are the developer for or the studio for Expedition 33, you're like, yo, I can either take the risk that is my game going to pop like the way that it did. Like they would have made so much more money if it wasn't on Game Pass. Like Expedition 33 would have been, if it still got the same type of reach and all the Xbox people had to pay for it, they would have made bank. But if you're not sure if your game is going to be a success, you cut that deal with Xbox, put it on subscription, and then you're guaranteed to get a certain amount of money, and then you try to build in DLC and other stuff for people to buy later on as a way to get more profit.
I think the biggest contributing factor to why I'm promoting this so much, and something that I haven't talked about yet, is the idea that online gameplay or gaming for this will be free. There's no PlayStation Plus, there's no Xbox Live. You just play online games with this and play with your friends for completely free, just like you still do now. So this is like as pro-consumer as it could possibly be.
Yeah.
That's tough. That's gonna.
It's going to. I love this because it's making the field competitive, and they're challenging. Well, it was Xbox and Sony, but it sounds like Xbox kind of dropped out of the console race in general. But Nintendo and Sony, I guess, still being the two heavy hitters, they're going to have to respond with something significant, and it's going to have to start being significantly more consumer friendly if they want to make sure that they're competitive. Because if you let the Steam machine get really popular and people go into buying this for the holidays and kids ask for this, there's not going to be too much of a reason to get a new console damn near ever, because you have all these games that you can get on here. The only thing you can't get is a PlayStation exclusive, but even then,
you wait a couple.
Unless it's like God of War or maybe another Ghost game, like how good is that exclusive going to be to warrant me needing to get a PlayStation? And then the greatest thing about this is that it seems like there's a lot of customizability into it itself, from the operating system to even just the way, aesthetically, the way it looks. I haven't seen too many of the specs yet, but it seems like they're going to have the ability, like, where you can like easily upgrade even the hardware itself, like between maybe switching out a new hard drive. If they're able to, because I think that was one of the biggest barriers to entry for PC gaming for a lot of people, is that they don't know how to build a PC themselves. And at least for me, when I got mine initially built, I didn't build it myself, like physically, because of all the parts I bought were really expensive. I didn't want to fuck up any of the parts myself and mess up this big investment. So I took it to what's the place called? Oh my God, I'm blanking on Micro Center. I took it to Micro Center. I had to build it for me there. Most people can't afford to do that. I'm a fully grown adult with no children and a dog, and I had extra money to blow. But if I'm a parent with a kid, I don't. But if I have something like this that's relatively inexpensive in the grand scheme of like PC gaming, to where my kid can learn how to upgrade it and it's plug and play, and they learn how to that skill and that asset. 5 years on the line, when you want to get a more expensive version of this and get a full PC, now you know how to build it yourself, and it's not that difficult because you've already played around with this from a younger age with this.
The one thing you gotta be worried about though is Steam Machine. It ain't gonna have GTA 6 at the beginning.
Is that an exclusive for Sony?
I think it's only on the console. I think it's PS5, or if there's a PS6 by that point, who knows, and Xbox. It's not going to be on PC on launch.
It affects me.
I feel like that changes soon, though. Like in my mind, I'm predicting if the Steam Machine takes over, it does as well as I think it's going to do, because I think there's going to be a lot of content creators buying this and promoting it. And a lot of, honestly, literally, if it takes somebody like Kai Cenat to buy this thing and play it on stream one time, it's going to start selling like hotcakes, especially with how affordable it is and how affordable it's projected to be. If it gets that popular and everybody has one, I could easily see Take-Two being like, maybe we need to go ahead and let this thing drop on Steam too, and they're gonna get this thing up out of there.
And then also, I mean, I can definitely see like those face plates that they were showing getting customized, hitting the console.
Yeah.
All the anime versions of these and selling those.
Those, the controllers. Mm-hmm. It's really it's so customizable, bro. And my biggest thing is just how small it is. That was my biggest issue. I think maybe from in between the jump from PS2 to PS3, I miss being able to unplug my PS2 and easily go to my grandma's house and my house and back and forth with it and easily plug it up. Once the PS3 got so fucking big, I was like, I can't eat. Like, you gotta have a damn near suitcase for this thing. The fact this thing is the size of a GameCube, and I can in one hand palm this thing and be like, cord, this backpack, and have down the street or wherever I gotta go, and I could probably fit it in my carry-on to fly with. And in hotel rooms, it's easy to fly. It just seems it's too many benefits for it.
And it says 60 FPS and like what
4K gaming.
4K.
Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah,
that's tough.
My biggest thing too is seeing how affordable the controller is, because the controller is so super customizable. And I feel like it's going to have a lot of the functions that a lot of the pro controllers have in regards to replacing the joysticks that get stick drift in them. If you can easily replace those in this controller, and the controller is maybe like, hell, even if it's like the same price as the regular play, maybe like $70 to $80, I'd probably even for one of them maybe pay up to $100, maybe $120 if it's that durable and it's that customizable. That could be a one-time investment that you get there. Or maybe if you buy two of those for your kids. A lot of this stuff just seems like it's going to have a lot of staying power. I think the biggest two worries I have about the hardware is durability. If this thing could last a while, like if it could last the traditional 10 to 15 year console cycle, perfect. If these things don't break down really easily, and if they're smart, they'll put in a lot of deals, like during the release of this, like for the games, because your biggest barrier is going to be one, getting people to buy this, and then also getting people to put a lot more games in their library. So you're going to try to want to implement a lot more discounts. For at bare minimum, have like a discount code for people that buy this thing in each system, to where they can get, a certain amount of games, maybe a certain percentage off, for, I don't know, because there's a lot of free money you have there because you not have to worry about buying a subscription service to actually play the game.
Yeah. I mean, I was going to say, like, and this may solve one of those big issues with so many PC games, right? Where you have to, like, keep messing with the settings. If it's like, here is the standardized settings of the Steam box or Steam machine. But with the Steam machine, like, you don't have to keep adjusting the settings, because then the developers are like, all right, we know for the Steam machine, this is what will optimize the settings, so you don't end up with like the Borderlands 4 fiascos and stuff like that in the future. So that could be good.
I'm excited for it, man. I think there's a lot of potential in this. I'm more so excited because one of my best friends is he's been attached to his Xbox for the longest time. I've been trying to like, we'll just leave the Xbox thing alone, leave it alone. He's hating it, and he's been wanting to get into PC gaming for a while now. And literally, I think the week before last, I was going to take over a lot of my older PC parts for him so he could start getting his first build going. And then this got announced. He was like, bro, I'm good. Because for the amount of part, because I think my PC, I personally have that I upgraded to, that I saved up for, cost me maybe around like $1,200 to build. in total. Saved up for it and built that. You telling me for like a fraction of that price, he's going to be able to play the same games I'm playing and play with me on this system that seems like it may not be as strong as what I have, but it can hold up relatively well and has a lot of functionality to it. And I can't, if I ever want to go play my PC games when I go home, I can't pick up my heavy ass PC and drive that home. I can, with this, I'm like, all right, cool. I'm playing X game. I'm in Expedition 33 here at the house on my PC, and I'm going home for the holidays, but I still want a game, and I can't take my PC with me. Cool. Steam Deck or Steam Cube, Steam Machine, whatever you want to call it. Pick that up, take that with me, and I can pick up where I left off and play that same game. And I think it even has remote play as well, for whatever reason. I don't even know why you would need remote play, but maybe for the Steam Deck, I think it has that compatibility there. So it's... I know Valve tried to put out their own like console or like mini PC before this, like a while ago, but I think they maybe fucking they hit the mark with this potentially.
Yeah, I mean,
go ahead.
I'm sorry. Just saying the customizability, the portability, the variety of games are being given at this price point. That's hard to match. I mean, and also like the biggest thing is like, you know, this is revolutionizing homosexuality, because you know, like the way it works is when they get the PS5 into the girl's crib, that's their new home. It's just so much easier to move. So like once it's there, like we starting to end homelessness now, you know.
Wait, how much did it say how much it weighs? Because what if it's like, what if it weighs like a ton? Like, you know, you're like, oh, it's only the size of a GameCube. Then you lift it up and it's like, yo, this shit's like 50 pounds. It's dense as hell.
It's approximately going to be, for the European people watching this, 2.6 kilograms, and in, you know, America, it'll be 5.6 pounds. So not crazy heavy.
Whoa.
A 5-pound dumbbell. And it'll be 152 millimeters tall, and 162.4 millimeters deep, and 156 millimeters wide. So it's to your point. I thought about that too. About like, is this going to be dense as hell?
Yeah, like
But
one of the
if
medicine balls. You know, like you're like, oh, that thing doesn't look heavy, and then you go, what the fuck?
But this is only 5 pounds, dog. So it's honestly, I'm impressed they got like, cause I'm looking at like I'm looking at my GPU right now, and this thing is like 2 times, like it's probably like 2 Steam machines put side to side. Like for my one fat ass, I think I would have a 7080 maybe, or whatever. It's like the GPU before the new one that came out, the new NVIDIA one. They're able to fit something that's compatible to that. May not be as strong 100% as this, but if you can run the same games I can run at a pretty good resolution, where you're playing them at 4K, so you at least have the power of a PS5 Pro for that price point with that size. I'm impressed with the technology there. And one of the big things too that I want to preach to people is that, and I've heard other creators talk about it before, this is the kind of innovation in gaming hardware you can have where you're not worried about backwards compatibility. If we didn't worry about having to have games fit and be compatible with the PS4, we could probably have PS5s be this much more stronger, or PS6s be this much stronger. But that's because people want to have backwards compatibility on a lot of those games, because people don't, for whatever reason, want to go ahead and shoot the shot on getting a PS5. You're going to have these limitations. You can do something like this when you have this.
Though I heard there's going to be I feel like there's going to be some, if we're avoiding EA, there's going to be some good sales out here on like PS5 and PS5 Pro.
Possibly. With the way these terrorists are looking, at least in America, we're gonna see about that. I don't know. Which I'm honestly curious about, because it's
already right now.
Yeah, I'm pulling up Steam right now just to look at the sales they have, because I want to look to see just how cheap these games are going to be. Because again, I'm assuming they're going to put even more cheaper and numerous deals out when the thing drops. But I'm curious to see what this looks like. Just right now, if I were to buy a Steam machine right now. And you know what's funny? You know what's extremely funny? This is the first thing I see when I open up my Steam. They have a PlayStation Publisher sale right now. So if I click on this, and it's 67% off for certain games. So this Ghost of Tsushima 1, $35 for that game. Stellar Blade, $47. Helldivers 2,
He
$31.
calls it Tsushima instead of Tsushima, like everyone else.
Leave me alone. Spider-Man 2, $47. These same games, I'm pretty sure, and this is for the remaster, like $23. I'm pretty sure these same games are still like $50 to $60 on PlayStation Store if you look at them right now. And if we look at other deals, I'm just looking at the deals that they have. I'm not even gonna look at like the main big titles, discounts at events.
Oh man, they are doing a. I just looked up. The PS5 is going to be $100 off for, and the PS5 Pro are going to be $100 off for Black Friday.
Ain't enough, because you already charging $750 for it. That's still $100 more than this.
Yeah.
Like, look, Black Desert for this is 99 cents. You can get a full 3D open world game for 99 cents.
Wow, that's a full MMO, isn't it?
Yeah, and we look at the Xbox Studio sale. This is the Xbox games they have on sale. This is Ninja Gaiden. No, this is okay. Gears of War. Oh, yeah, it's finally loading up. Jesus Christ. Gears of War, $25. Ninja Gaiden 4, $55. And I think this is the new one that came out, right? Yeah, this is the one that just came out on October 20th. And they have a deal for it to be $55.
Nobody wanted to play it.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I think a lot of that was just because there's a lot of other games out. South of Midnight, an amazing fucking game. $29.99 right now, and I pre-ordered this game.
Go buy it.
I haven't played Avowed. I heard good things about Avowed, but I never really locked in with it. My friend played it and loved it.
Skyrim with actual like development within the game mechanics.
If you want Microsoft Flight Simulator, again, all these prices are just like games that can go from $60 to, was it like the normal price from when I was a kid playing games? It was $60 that was that new price threshold, up into games that are like $70, all getting chopped down to like 55. We saw one at 99 cents for Black Desert. It's crazy, and this is the thing that Steam has that I don't even know PlayStation or Xbox can even do if they wanted to, because I feel like there'd be a lot more issues with their shareholders in regards to how much they have to charge for games. But if this becomes a thing and it gets popular, they're going to have to adjust prices for games and hardware because of this.
That's like a whole other thing. I'm curious on how this happens. Like, there's got to be like the economics for like Steam. Like, is it just like the massive amount of games that they have that allows them to sort of subsidize or, give these deep sales, or like what allows Steam to give deeper sales than the consoles?
My best guess, if I had to look at it, would be, first and foremost, I think that they have so many games that are indie games in regards to like smaller teams or creators doing it, so they're not having to go to like the big name places to do it. Because I don't know what that process looks like to get a game approved to be on a Sony or Xbox console, but I feel like, it's pretty safe to assume that it's a lot more difficult than it is to get a game on Steam. Like, it's like me trying to get like my comic that I'm making, if I wanted to get it in with Marvel and DC versus Image or any other indie publisher. Like, they're just more likely to do it, and they can sell for a little bit cheaper because they don't have the echelon graphic novels. Part of it, I feel like, isn't just like, I feel like the prices of these games are literally just what these major studios or major publishers, not publishers, but like Sony and Xbox, they're charging that much because they can. I feel like it's kind of a similar thing where like certain, like the new Batman title is going to be $7.99, but if they come out with a Cassandra Cain book, it's probably going to be $4.99. Like, yeah, they're not making as much money as they would make, but you can still afford to make this thing and get a return on investment, but you're not making a crazy profit.
Yeah, I wonder if it's like actually like the lack of options too, right? Like, they know that as a PS5 player, it's not like you can go and shop around for some of this, and even like Steam's still at the end of the day competing with like all the other, what is it, like Epic, all these other sort of places, and you can get it on sometimes directly from the like publisher. So there's like those extra levels of competition that maybe help drive it down. So I don't know. I mean, I
think Steam is probably my favorite one just because it's so community based.
Yeah.
I think I played Repo with our friend Crumbcake and her friends the other night, and I didn't have like my controller set up initially, but when I was trying to set it up, I saw that there is like player profiles for the controller setting where people like will set up the inputs for you, and all you have to do is just download it and play it. And it's something that not the developer, not the publisher decided to set up, but just people that played the game, and they allowed the fan base to do that. So the fact that there are so many functions like that, and on top of that, the biggest thing, the fact that I could try a game out to see if I enjoy it for like an hour or two, and then get a full refund and send it back if I don't enjoy it. I don't think Epic can do that. I don't think there's any other like storefront that sells games that does something of that sort, where you can like try it out and then get a full refund back potentially.
I mean, that should be what every one of them does. Like, it's because it's all the stuff you said before. It's like the amount of games that get released that aren't ready, and then, I don't think so. Like, what's the gold standard for that? Like, I think about that all the time. Like, some of these things that we're like, oh, that's great, Steam does it. Sony, Xbox, Epic, everybody should have to do that.
And if I'm a studio, like I don't know the name of the studio that did Expedition 33, but I know they're like ex-Ubisoft devs and whatnot. If I'm a team like that, where I have the next Expedition 33 and I'm looking at, all right, where am I going to try to get this game put at so I can try to make this money back? Game Pass is kind of killed now. Sony's obviously going to be damn near impossible. Steam machine is popping right now. Steam's there. Hey, Steam, would you mind taking this game on? And we'll charge like $30-$40 like with Expedition 33. And because Steam machines are so popular, now they have, I don't know if Steam would ever go as far as to make things like Steam exclusives, which, I mean, that's a moneymaker if they wanted to go that route in making Steam exclusives. But if they wanted to just be a place to where gamers and small developers could get a lot more games up on there, because they even have, like, it takes some bullshit games. Like, there's like a literal, we'll say, adult activity video game that was based around the assault of a woman that they just let up there, and obviously people talked about it and had enough issues with it where they got it taken down. But if you can get random games like that up on there, like this just seems like a great beginning for gaming as a whole, rather from a consumer standpoint, from a developer standpoint. If you are up and comer or a major developer, everyone eats in this, and it just seems like a win-win. But I'm curious just to see how everyone else responds. Because at this point with this, it feels like you got to get on board or you get out the way with regards to how good this seems from all angles. Now, because I'm not as involved with hardware for stuff and maybe some of the red tape behind or the yellow tape behind some of the gaming industry, there may be some things I'm missing here in regards to maybe what could potentially be dangerous here. But from a consumer standpoint, for me looking at this, especially as like a content creator, this just seems like a perfect thing to do. A perfect obvious buy for me.
How would it work with all the cameras or like for content creation? Like how would the performance go with that? Like, I mean,
it worked the same way as a regular. Y'all know this stuff better than me. It worked the same way as a regular PlayStation, like in regards to you having a what's the word I'm looking for? A capture card. As long as you have a capture card, because it has an HDMI slot like a regular PlayStation, so you just plug in the HDMI, plug it up the same way you do this everything else, and then you're good there. Then I'm pretty sure it also is going to have like functions for capturing gameplay footage as well that I saw. Again, I'm waiting to see the announcements for like all the features that come with it, because I feel like that's something that we haven't even heard a lot of yet that could make it even more of a attractive buy. The fact that they have something that makes it easy for content creators to use and make content with.
Yeah, I mean, if it has a whole PC OS on there, it's a good chance it might have OBS in itself, and you can run your stream completely through that. And I mean, being able to do that at a high quality, straight from the actual source itself, that's going to be another thing that actually boosts the ability of content creators to create at a better level. Because right now, to create at a high level with a console, you have to have a PC to accompany it anyway. If the PC itself is compact and easy to move, and you can know it has like a few USB slots so you can put in your own camera and mic for it, that actually puts it apart as well. So,
because I saw people that were still doing that with like the PlayStation stuff, where they were still doing, I don't know how or when people, because sometimes I'll see like you watch a game, and if you go to like the PlayStation and you like at the bottom section where like maybe you can buy DLC, you'll see streams that are actively going on where people are connecting to either Twitch or PlayStation itself and streaming the game live, and they'll have like their microphone from the controller or their headset connected to it and whatnot, and they're streaming from that directly from the PS5. So I know that there's a lot of people that do that there. If this is able to do that same thing but more efficiently, like Otis said, there's a lot of money in this Steam machine that they can get back to this. There's a lot of money here. So y'all let us know in the comment section below how you guys feel about the Steam machine, how about the Game Awards, and even about the Pause EA campaign that we're working on doing with the Players Alliance. And again, guys, please support that. You can find all the information for that in the description below. But before we get ready to close up out of here, is there anything that you guys want to promote or, you know, plug before we get up out of here?
Yeah, just double down on the Pause EA deal. I mean, again, this is about trying to set a precedent for taking ownership of gaming back from these big publishers and actually like being able to have our own input into creating what the space looks like. So I mean, everything like we need as much support as possible, because everything down to buying skins in Apex Legends to buying download packs and Sims contributes to, you know, this greater machine that we're trying to fight against. So if just at least through the Black Friday, just if we can get you to actually commit to this and show them that we as the consumers actually have the power to shape what gaming looks like, this would be the start of more things to come, and actually being able to promote the games that we want to see instead of actually just having to take whatever they hand to us, the regurgitated slop of, you know, insert AAA franchise that gives you the same game over and over every year.
Agreed.
Yeah. I think the only thing I would add is, like, it's also like this is only like the second phase of a lot of what we're doing as Players Alliance, and so at least with EA, so there's gonna be more to come too. So getting as much support for Pause EA for right now, and then looking to continue to up that pressure in the future too.
Mm-hmm. Again, y'all, please support the Pause EA campaign. And again, you will find information regarding all that stuff in the description below. And you guys can just look up Players Alliance on pretty much any platform, and you'll be able to find the Alliance and the information regarding that stuff. So again, y'all let us know in the comment section below how you guys feel about this episode. And, you know, we have a lot of changes potentially to the show to come soon, so y'all be tuned for that stuff as well. But again, this has been Captain Diesel, the Loose V, the Big Black Muffin, and our friend Zach Lerner of the Players Alliance. And remember, y'all, forever and always,
you're listening to the Then and Now podcast.
and we'll see you guys next time.
Go watch The Mighty Nine on Amazon. You won't regret it.